The anticipation surrounding the potential matchup between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua reached a fever pitch during their recent face-off, a moment that showcased the stark contrast between the two fighters. Paul, the YouTuber-turned-boxer, was calm and collected, while Joshua, a two-time heavyweight champion, exuded an aura of intensity and focus. In the lead-up to the fight, Paul expressed his excitement, stating, "This is probably the biggest pay-per-view that I'll have done to date." He recognized Joshua as a significant target in his boxing career, acknowledging the stakes involved. "I want to fight Anthony Joshua," he declared, despite Joshua's recent knockout loss to Daniel Dubois. Paul didn't hold back, criticizing Joshua's skills, claiming he doesn't have a chin and has no skill. As the face-off commenced, the atmosphere was charged with tension. Unlike his previous jovial encounters, Paul was now standing opposite a formidable opponent, one of boxing's hardest punchers. Joshua's promoter had agreed to the matchup, and both fighters were ready to finalize the details. Paul's confidence was palpable, but it was evident that Joshua was not amused by Paul's provocations. The boxing community has been buzzing about the trend of social media influencers stepping into the boxing ring. Many hardcore boxing fans view this as a threat to the sport's integrity, arguing that traditional pathways to professional fighting are being undermined. Paul's rise has sparked debates about whether someone with his background can genuinely compete at the elite level. Joshua, coming off a career setback, was fueled by a desire to reclaim his place in boxing and appeared determined to make an example of Paul. He expressed his intent to take Jake Paul's head off, a statement that resonated with the audience. The stakes were high, and Joshua's fury could be felt as he prepared for the fight ahead. Despite Paul's bravado, critics were quick to point out the disparity in their experience. While Paul has built a career by fighting older and crossover fighters, Joshua's resume features some of the toughest competitors in boxing history. Observers noted that Joshua's experience and power would likely overwhelm Paul in the ring, even though the latter has gained considerable attention and a following through his antics. Paul's audacity was on full display as he called out Joshua, claiming, "I will beat Anthony Joshua." His remarks were laced with bravado, as he challenged Joshua's boxing acumen, describing him as stiff and devoid of rhythm. "He has no skill, just no power," Paul stated, further inflating the competitive narrative. In the midst of their exchanges, the boxing promoter Eddie Hearn voiced skepticism about the fight ever taking place. He argued that no commission would allow a bout between Paul and Joshua, emphasizing the mismatch in skill levels. Hearn noted, "This is a straightforward night's work for Joshua," and warned Paul to be cautious about what he wished for. As the face-off concluded, the underlying tension between the two was unmistakable. Joshua's demeanor suggested he was ready to reassert his dominance in the ring, while Paul's confidence hinted at his ambition to disrupt the boxing status quo. The potential for a fight between them could generate substantial pay-per-view numbers, but Hearn remained doubtful about the feasibility of such a match, questioning the seriousness of Paul's intentions. Despite the doubts, the buzz surrounding the fight continues to grow. Both fighters have their supporters and detractors, and the boxing world is eager to see how this unprecedented matchup unfolds. Paul's rise has been marked by controversy and spectacle, while Joshua seeks to reclaim his legacy after a stinging defeat. As fans await further developments, the question remains, can Jake Paul truly compete with Anthony Joshua, or will the seasoned heavyweight prove too much for the YouTuber? The outcome could reshape both of their careers, and with the stakes this high, the boxing world is watching closely. Whether this fight materializes or remains a mere spectacle, one thing is certain. The clash of these two personalities has already generated significant intrigue in the sport.